like button. Good to see everybody. Happy Friday. Tonight we're going to talk about why we haven't seen David, everybody. A couple good reasons. One, this social media shitstorm, okay? That shitstorm that David's created for himself is just, it's something he'll never be able to fix. Two, the legal fees, the legal battles he's tied up in. Hi, David, by the way. The amount of money he's had to pay out within the last, I don't know, let's just say 5 years, just in legal fees alone. David's no doubt broke. Can't afford a staff. If you look at the videos he's reposting on his channel, we won't even get into that. So, social media, money, big time money issues with David right now, for sure. The fact that he hasn't been out and done any videos or anything new 100% leads me to believe that we won't see him anymore. They still have the residential center. They bought that during the lawsuit with Harold Lewis. So they bought that for, I think, what was it, like 1.9, I think? 1.9, little less maybe. So they buy that, buy the residential center. Then they had 3 mansions at one time, guys, okay? They had 3 mansions. They were all within a stone's throw of each other, too. You could basically, if you map quested them, it was basically a 10-mile line. It was the residential center, Hager Lane. Hager Lane is at one end, residential center was at the other end. The Wild Horse Meadows was right smack in the middle of all the 3 mansions. They sold the mansion this last year, and no doubt to help pay for the cost of the court case that they just fought with Harold Lewis, right? We know David's been fighting that case for the last, 3.5 years? All of a sudden, settled out of court. Undisclosed amount. Nobody's going to know, because that for sure will have NDA. Jay Puente, what up, my boy? Night of Night, what's up, what up, what up? Manny Guzman, what's up, what's the word? David's shitstorm he's created. He's not live because of the social media, right? We've talked about this before, I think. But I'm just going to kind of reiterate, and we're going to kind of talk about Catherine Crick tonight, too, just a little bit. Because that lunatic is, she's hot on my list. But David, we're not going to see him, dude. No more. No more David. He says he's coming out. Nope. It's all going to be reruns. He says he's going to come out July. Nope. He ain't coming out. There's no way. Yeah, the word is charlatan. Yeah, 100%. And Night of Night, you said you were in law enforcement at one time, didn't you? And you're seeing both sides of this, some of the stuff that's going on. You're like, hold the fuck up. This is, like, dude, this is abuse. Like, this is illegal, like, what they're doing. I think it was you. I want to say it was you. Yeah. Right? And I'm starting to think, Manny Guzman, I think a lot of people are absconding from this cult, man. He's only got, on Zoom, his Zoom account, he's only got maybe 30-something people, and then YouTube. So he doesn't have many followers at all. He says he's got millions of followers, but he's full of shit. So you're also a youth pastor, right? So you're seeing what's going on, but you're also taking into an account that you were also law enforcement at one time. And hey, April is Child Abuse Awareness Month too, guys. All right. So I found this out today, and I was putting into perspective the things we're seeing with Catherine Crick. Can we label Catherine Crick what she's doing as abusive behavior, child abusive behavior, by what she's doing with these kids in these open air revivals, right? I did some research on Catherine, guys, and there's not really much to her. This is where we're going to kind of jump into David, or not Catherine yet. Lost track. Catherine Crick, open air revivals. Yeah, so the open air revivals, the same thing. David and Catherine kind of preach the same thing. But David, it's almost like, okay, Manny Guzman, see, I'm right up there with you. Who is worse, David or Catherine? You know, they're both really bad. They're both really bad, James Smith. What I think makes Catherine worse, this is my opinion, right? Because everybody's opinion is a lie, right? Yeah, tax fraud alone should have gotten him arrested. Yeah, Matthew Moore, Catherine is more dangerous. I believe so too because she's a maternal figure, man. She's a woman. And I'm again, guys, I'm not sexist by any means. I just feel that her being a maternal figure, people are more apt to say, hey, here's my kids. Do anything you want with them. Legend lives. What up? Cheers to you guys. Catherine, okay, think David. Yeah, I think she's worse. They're both, man, they're both kind of in line. If you look at the shit they both preach, man, it's just, oh yeah, she's gonna cause way more wounding. She's doing live right now. She's live right now in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, doing some open air revival in the park, and she just had this guy that was paralyzed come up on stage, saying, "Oh, all your paralyzation is healed," and he walked off stage and he wasn't healed. So there, anybody who thinks Catherine Crick is a healer, there's your first false healing right there. What more proof do you need that she is not a faith healer, or a prophet, or an apostle? Okay, she is none of those. What I was talking with one of the members offline about, yeah, the maternal power, yep, to influence the fakeness, is that this one channel followers, Bill Cosby ASMR. I talked to him offline quite a bit, and I've come to like the guy a lot. And what he was saying, we talked the other day, and he's like, dude, Catherine Crick is Hispanic. And through the conversation, and she for real looks true Spaniard, not Hispanic from Mexico, but Spaniard, like from Spain. And we were talking like, what if she changed her name to sound like, I don't know, more white or something? This is just us having a conversation, putting theories out there, you know. But again, I did the research on her. I couldn't really find much. She's born in New York, moved to LA. She's 31 years old. Yeah, David's is mostly the African American community. Yep. 100%. If she changed her name to I don't know. This is just a thought we put out there. Just a theory. Is it possible? Absolutely. I was saying, like, what if her name was like Rosa Rodriguez or something like that? You know, some common Hispanic name, like some common Spanish name. I don't know. But we were just talking about this, and you know, what if? But now she's doing her open air revivals. Oh man, my dogs do this every time I go live. This is like, yes, you're fine. Come here. Come here. You're fine. Okay, thank you. So she's doing these open air revivals, just telling people that they're healed of these illnesses, just like David's doing. And it's still, at what point, again, yeah, she's high maintenance, man. And I take her out a lot, and she's got to go to the bathroom right now, and she's telling me to take her out. She always does it. Yeah, James Smith. So David, again, well, let's jump back to David. She's a lunatic, man. She's crazy. What she's doing is beyond what David's doing, really. It's funny that you don't see David out there doing the same thing that Catherine's doing. I believe so too, Matthew Moore. I'm watching that. She has a degree in communications, right? Which makes her qualified to be on the radio and TV and stuff, but as far as her theology degree, she has none. She has no theology background. And that's a scary thing, to think that she's going to be like some Christian radio host. Oh, she's way smarter than David Legend Lives. She's definitely smarter. Okay, Matthew. Yeah, we'll talk offline. I'm kind of sitting back watching it, man. There's some shady shit going on with her, man, and it's kind of scary. It's Israel number one. Me and him were talking offline, and said, you know, it's these closed off churches and these closed off cults that are the most dangerous, because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on the inside because they're so secretive, you know. Yeah, she'll overshadow him. She will overshadow him. We gotta take my dogs out, guys. She'll overshadow him, and that's the thing. What I'm thinking too is, at what point did Catherine, did Catherine come on the scene? Like, did she watch David's deposition and figure out that she could become a scam artist? Yeah, thanks, James. Yeah, I finally stuck 1,000. Yeah, took a minute. It took a long time for it to get there. My channel's still being suppressed right now from YouTube, or by YouTube. 100%, man. They don't. They don't like the. They don't like what's being done and calling David out and Catherine. I mean, at what point again? Historically, this is. He already rebranded his ministry as. He rebranded again for the 4th time. It's what is it? Marbles in America World Healing. So he rebranded his cult. It's not a ministry, it's a fucking cult. Let's be clear on that. He rebranded his cult for the 4th time. Got a new tax ID number and everything. It's online. So yeah, rebrands it. And there's a shady deal that went on with. Yeah, Manny, right? Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's weird, right? Night of Night, that's the thing. But here's what I was thinking about is the fact that he hasn't been on either. Makes me ultimately lead to believe that he's really sick too. That he doesn't want us seeing what kind of condition he's in, so he's just staying his ass off of YouTube, off social media, because he knows he looks like shit, and he knows we'll notice that. That's just, again, my opinion could be a lie, but nah, you know what? I've worn my shirt around, and some people have like glimpsed over and like cracked a smile, but nobody's ever approached me about it. Yeah, the new Apostolic Reformation are looking for the new Todd Bentley. Yeah, and they're trying to make it her. Yep, that's where I'm going with that. And she's not the right person. She's sketchy. Oh, I believe. I wouldn't doubt it, Night and Night. I wouldn't doubt it, man. Marilyn, get over here. I wouldn't doubt it. That's why he doesn't want to come online, because he knows he's probably looks like shit, man. And we told him, like, go get checked, dude. Go get all your blood work done, because he looked like shit last time. He looked like he was ready to fucking fall over right there and pass out. James Smith, what if you put David, Catherine, and Jeremy DeWitt all in the same room at the same time? Somebody brought that up. What if you put those three in the same room all at the same time? That'd be a sight to see, right? You don't see much of Copeland after that interview. After Lisa Lang or Lisa Guerrero? Is that her name? Lisa Guerrero caught up with his ass after one of his sermons. Oh, his spiritual diet doesn't work. There's no way. Talking about weight loss miracles, and that's the thing. It's like, how do the people in his cult not know, like, that he's full of shit? It's like he's talking about he can heal, but yet it's they're probably seeing him just, I don't know. So yeah, that's again why we're not going to see him, man. That's one of the good reasons. 100%. He probably looks like shit like he did last time. My dog takes her times. Yeah, his hairline needs healing. He needs to ask forgiveness. Oh yeah, he does. And Night and Night, you being, oh, what up, that's it, hobo, you my boy. Makes you wonder why Michelle stuck around for so long. Like what draws her to the cult to stay in it for so long and be involved as she is. And Captain Crick is supposed to be here next in a couple weeks, and yeah. No, I've tried to interview people that follow David. They won't take it, man. There's people that have come out of his cult and have I've talked to, and I I speak to, not frequently, but on occasion, um, because there's families out there still looking for their kids that are involved. Yeah, her pride. That's why she's so hateful, man. Because she knows she's been fooled by David. 100%. I'm with you there. She's pissed because she knows she got screwed over by David. Good girl, come on. Hey, come on, get over here. Yeah, I'm with you there. Hey, I said, come on, get in here. Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn, get over here. Oh, I'm sure he is. He's probably been sweating through his Gucci sweaters. Yeah, James Smith, could you imagine what it's got to be like for her? Could you imagine what it's got to be like to hold all that shit together that David's done? Imagine being her and Matt. Imagine being the punching bag for David. Like, that would be a shitty life to lead, I think. And then imagine all the shit that Michelle deals with from David. She's just going to pass it right on down the line to the other cult members. And that's reports I got from people out of the cult that said the closer you get to the cult, like the inside of the cult, to David, the worse the worse people are. Yeah, she chose David over her family. 100%, man. Yeah. Perfecto 10. Yeah, and you know what, James Smith, in that audio, it sounded like David was fucking crumbling up like a fucking Burger King bag or some shit, you know? You could hear him like slopping his lips and shit like he just got done eating a fucking 50-piece nugget. And he's packing up the bag. He's like licking his fingers of all the barbecue sauce that he's probably got spilled all over him. Come here, bud. Here. Yeah, and he's like, we got to get our money back. It was like 15K, right? 15K is what they had to get back, apparently, for some reason. Yeah, chose David over her family. Shitty thing to do, man. Michelle, how could you choose David over your family? And there's a comment I got today too, and I want to, actually, a couple days ago, a day or two ago, and it's from, hang on here, a Jorge Alam. That's in regards to the list that little girl's reading from, right when she fell over. You say she gave the list to her, which is not true, since in the video she says the girl came with the list. That's a lie. No little girl is thinking about sexual sins and shit like that, okay? Especially at that age. That's just, no, wrong. Wrong, Jorge. You're weird. I asked that guy, says, well, maybe the parents wrote the list. I was like, I asked this Jorge, hey, would you write that list for your daughter? Would you allow your daughter to write that type of list? And dude never got back to me. So that kind of sums up that answers my question without him even answering, really. Like, there's kids involved in these cults. And historically, what we've seen is they start them young. Then you start getting kids married off at young ages. Like Jeff Warren. I mean, look what he did. But by the time they arrested him, the damage was already done. The damage was done. The kids had already been... Yeah. All the while, people knew what was going on, right? People knew what was going on there. And everybody sat around with their heads up their ass and didn't do anything about it. So with it being Child Abuse Awareness Month, I think it's okay to point out that Catherine Crick is definitely abusing children within her fucking cult, man. Within her new apostolic reformation. Yes, Thor Brynjolfsson. Absolutely, 100%. They alienate, right? Alienate, shun, and then it's like they let so say I got shunned from, like, say I was in Catherine's church, right? And they they told me I had to shun my get away from my family, and they started fucking brainwashing me, right? Then they would try to replace my mother figure with somebody like Catherine, which I would fucking never allow. Catherine's crazy. Yep, direct shunning. Thor Brynjolfsson, I was speaking to somebody still being affected by David's cult. And, yeah. Macy's will be high-end shopping, is going to be Goodwill. You get pin of the night. But Thor, yeah. I spoke to somebody recently who... It's a spitting image of Rick Fraser's case, man. Really is. Shitty story all around. That's why David also won't show his face, David, because dude, you've done so much damage to yourself. So much damage, David, that you can't outrun the social media shitstorm that you've created for yourself, man. Not only that, but you're a false prophet. You're committing fraud. You're laundering money, using your church, okay? So you got those three things right there to worry about, okay? No theology training of any sort. No education. And you come out to be a prophet and apostle. All your healings and all your little crusade arenas have turned out to be bullshit. You've pushed out the Amway arena probably, like 3 or 4 years in a row now? Blew money on the stage. Stage isn't even done yet. Yeah, James? Yeah. It'd be Tony, Joseph, Michelle, Steve, Ashley, La Marcia, Mariah. Those will most likely be some of the last ones that will hang in with David. Yeah, Tony Bastianelli. Yep. Yeah, I know his backstory. Everybody's got a backstory, man. Tony's got a family, man. Tony's got a family that loves him, really, that wants him home too. But somewhere, somehow, he got sucked up in this. And now he's at David's cult, man. Getting shit on by David daily, probably. And there's people in there that probably see it that won't say anything because they're either scared or just they're too mind fucked to say anything. There's a trial going on right now with another guy that's been doing some weird things, like it was running a sex cult, man, and weird stuff, guys. I've talked to Tony, though, a couple times, unknowingly, but
he knows, he finds out it's me and he just hangs up. But yeah, Tony, he's been there. He's been there probably about 10 years. Tony's been there quite a long time, man. James Smith, he's been there the longest probably out of anybody. Ashley, she's been there quite a bit. She's probably been there 3 or 4 years, I'm guessing. Her mom gave up a lot of money. Her mom gave up a lot of money to David. Once David burned up her bank account, you look for the next victim. So David's abusing people financially. No doubt. I mean, to manipulate that much money from people, it's called theft by deception. It's a pretty sick game that David plays with his members. And any of these members that could be watching this, David is a cult leader by definition. Okay. I mean, if any of you have noticed, David doesn't do lives anymore because he's too scared. But as far as hearing from Tony, yeah, you won't hear from him. You could probably call, if you call the hotline, you might be able to get through to him. He might answer. They still have their hotline up, that's for sure. That's going to be their main source of income. Or their PayPal or their cryptocurrency if they're still taking that in. Yeah. Yeah. Oregon Digital. Yeah. It's hard to believe that people fall for his crap. It really is. You sit back and you watch him and you're like, do people actually believe this guy? How could anyone believe that guy? And we're sitting back here like scratching our heads like, yeah, how the fuck did anyone believe this guy? I mean, Catherine Crick isn't even good at being fake either. She's horrible at being fake. Like, this chick's weird, man. Yeah, glowing. Like, I've heard David say he's got, like, yeah, like Marvel powers that he could walk through walls and shit like that. Yeah, overexposure, glowing. Yeah, that, dude, I do, David, your whole digital thing, the glowing thing, yeah, it's overexposure. That's like total just video manipulation. And he looked like an alien when they overexposed it. Did you notice that? Digital. He looked crazy, dude. He looked like a fucking demon, man. He looked just back in a jiffy. What up? Why art? No. If somebody wants to reach out to me from those places, man, I put all the info in my description. I'm not gonna reach out to those people. They've been through enough, you know. If I'm watching about different cults right now that are being exposed, though. There's another sex cult, the guy that's been in court with these women, man. Fraggle Rockstar, yeah. He does. Yeah, he said he could walk on water, trap vision, JP. He's also said he could walk through walls, and he's a shadow mover, an electricity mover, and all this other shit, dude. It's like he's preaching shit straight out of a fucking Marvel comic book. Yeah, and levitate? David, it doesn't happen. All of his teachings and his prophecies have all failed. The whole hospital thing, him healing entire hospitals, bullshit, it didn't happen. That's all a lie. Yeah, James, the singing he does. Yeah. He's a clown, man. I've never seen him levitate people. I mean, I would like to think, man, if you could do that shit, you would be doing that shit like live. Like, look what I can do. Then maybe there'd be some shred of belief to that he's actually some sort of holy man, but he's not. We know he's not going to levitate people. Again, which is another reason why he won't come out. Because all of his failed prophecies are coming to light. Dave still on the game? No, not really. Or hard? No. But yeah, yep, he's still just he's hiding, man. The whole video was why we're not going to see him right now is because he's scared hiding. And yeah, his whole face-to-face bullshit doesn't happen. It's like they're doing reruns of reruns of reruns. It's kind of far out to see, actually. They're doing reruns that it's like there's no really real content anymore. That's just how bad the cult's gotten. They're just running all the same bullshit. And we won't see David again, guys. If we see him, I'll be really surprised. But somebody might have nice said he fucking probably looks like shit right now. And he's too scared to let us see him. Which I would be too if I was him. Yeah, the whole face-to-face is not happening. Oh, he runs videos every day, but he doesn't have any more lives, James Smith. Yeah, Karen Ruby, you didn't know that? He went to school with Jesus, and he sat on Jesus' lap. Like, him and Jesus are like this. Him and Jesus are like this. They're like blood brothers, basically. Him and Jesus are blood brothers. Yeah, David says he went to school with Jesus. You know, sat on his lap, has conversations with him, ate dinner with him, went on a walk with him. You know, I know, it's like, damn, David, name drop Jesus like that, man. That's pretty messed up, dude. Threw Jesus under the bus too, and Michelle. It's apparent David has an issue with throwing people under the bus. Yeah, TJ, he was probably there when Jesus was born. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, him and Jesus are homies, dude. David and Jesus are homies, just like Catherine and Jesus. Do I feel sorry for people who are into this kind of preacher? You know, Karen, I do in a sense. Absolutely, yeah. I feel there's definitely a sense of compassion too. Because it's like I'm sitting here watching these people be manipulated, and I feel like it's kind of our duty to do this, to let them know, like, hey, you guys are in the wrong place. Like, that's the wrong place to be doing that kind of thing. Because you're supposed to read your Bible at home, man. You don't go out and do open air preaching like that. And the one thing I wanted to say tonight is the person who preaches the loudest to God is often the furthest away. So when I see Catherine Crick out here preaching like she is, and David and all these other evangelists and prophets and apostles, whatever the hell they want to call them, because they preach the word so loud and so much, they're the ones that are evil. They are the ones that are going to hell. They are the ones that need God the most, not the ones that are silent about God. Oh, what up, Casey? I definitely believe that. I think that's a solid statement. You know, if you're preaching to God like the way these people are, like Catherine Crick, Casey, I believe she's in your neck of the woods. And she's in Kentucky tonight. Catherine Crick. Where is she tonight? Let me take a peek. Shepherdsville. Yeah, Catherine Crick's in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Oh, she's done now, but she was in Shepherdsville. I would love to see her pull out some deadly snakes, right? I would too. Said him and Jesus got in a fight one time. Yeah, and you know, you see David preach about women and loyalty and submission, but David isn't married. You don't see him walking around with some prize trophy wife, you know? It's like if David's so holy and this great preacher, this great man, it's like the fight was a draw. And by a draw, David probably means like it was a picture. They had to draw a picture. But Casey, what we're talking about tonight is a couple things. Why we're not going to see David E. Taylor anymore. And I'm kind of starting to move the channel over to expose another lady named Catherine Crick, right? Who's doing the same crazy shit that David's doing, but her manipulation tactics, I feel, in my opinion, this is just what I've read and done the research on. Her manipulation tactics are far more extreme than David's. They're the same tactics in a sense, but it's no, what's it say? I know if you type in David E. Taylor, you're a piece of shit, all my content pops up. I did a Google search one time. I think it was, who was it? It was Dan Alexander, our guy up in Canada. He's like, what if you typed it in Google? David E. Taylor, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, Hillbilly. Using people for money. This is one of the other things I like to point out. Really is the whole seed faith, right? Okay, one of my buddies, he's Jewish, and he actually told me what the seed faith is. What the seed faith refers to, right? The seed faith refers to the rabbi would be given 1/10 of your seed store, right? To come and preach and give the word, because they didn't take money, right? So you would legit give 1/10 of your seed store. So you have if you had 10 pounds, you give 1/10 of it, a pound of seeds. That's what the seed sowing is. The old scripture, the old Hebraic text, I believe. Okay, you guys know I'm not religious, so don't quote me on this, but that the seed faith comes from feeding the rabbi, not giving them money. So when they're out here saying, "Oh, you need to give me 10% of your income," no, fuck that. Dude, go get a job. Why work like everybody else? Yeah, Karen Ruby, you think their followers are looking to get something from God right now? And back to your question, do I feel sorry for these people? Yeah, I do. I do feel sorry for these people because I'm sitting back we're sitting back watching them be fully manipulated. And nobody's saying anything about it, and they're using, you know, what more fucked up of a way to manipulate somebody than with religion, man? Think about that. What more shitty of a way to mentally mind fuck somebody than with God? I could see war family violence, shit like that, you know, but use religion, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. Like that's literally, you're attacking somebody's soul, man. You're getting into somebody's heart, into their belief, into their soul, to their spirit. That's a shitty route to go, dude. Shauna Lloyd, she's also a survivor of a destructive cult. She hasn't shared her story, that's fine. And we've talked offline quite a bit, and she agrees 100% what's going on with Catherine Crick. Allie Wright, what's up? Good to see you guys. She believes 100% what's going on with Catherine Crick is child abuse. See you, Digital. Take care, man. Good having you. Good sleep. Take care, man. Good having you, brother. So yeah, Shauna Lloyd, 1,000% agree. And it's like, at what point does the government say, hang on here? Historically, we've seen these kind of things happen when there's kids involved. Look what happened with LDS, Warren Jeffs. And Allie, right? I believe you were also in a destructive organization too, right? And you got out too, and you're doing good, I believe. And it's good to have people like you in here, because you can speak from experience and advocate for people in that sense, and tell people like, hey, this isn't right. This isn't okay what's going on. Yeah, Hillbilly. You saw that interview, right? It's like, he was like, Tyler Perry. Okay, Allie, right? Yeah, Hillbilly's like, Tyler Perry gave us that jet for so cheap, I couldn't help but to buy it. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here, Kenneth. Man, that's just, what do they say, Hillbilly? It's easier for a camel to find its way through a needle than it is a rich man to find his way into heaven. The eye of a needle than a rich man his way into heaven. Yeah. Yep. So that's another thing I kind of sit back and cherish, is like all these rich preachers that think they're going to go to heaven. No, they're just buying their way into hell. Yeah. Epic comedy. Yeah. Sir, for they have had their heaven on earth. Yeah. Yeah, their heaven on earth has been the jets, the lavish lifestyles. I'm with you there, Hillbilly, 100%, man. They've had their heaven on earth. They've robbed and stealed and preached and pimped their way into the pulpit. And you know I'm not religious. You guys know I'm not religious. I don't practice. I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. But I've learned a lot from all of you guys, and all of you guys come from different religious backgrounds. All of you guys practice a different religion, and it's all the same, man. It's just, dude, we're supposed to be good to each other. We're not supposed to be assholes like David and Catherine and prey on the poor and the weak and the helpless, the hopeless. Chuck Wood lost a pound. Shauna Lloyd, I believe so too. There's another one coming out about what's the what's it called? Man, there's a really big one that's starting to get a lot of exposure right now, man. And it's one of the really big ones. Karen Ruby, and that's cool. There are no paid clergy. You're a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. That's cool. I respect your faith. I don't practice anything. Have you followed up, Karen Ruby? Have you followed up anything on the Royal Commission in Australia about what they've done with that, as far as getting their tax exempt status in Australia?
Okay, it's a work cult. Allie, right? Okay, same thing. Same thing as a fucking work cult, man. They are. David's is a money laundering sex cult, but it's also like a work cult. He's like he doesn't pay staff. There could be cults where it's basically like a forced labor cult, guys. They don't just have to be sex cults. They be forced labor cults. Yeah, the leaders got paid like a pyramid scheme. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would recommend you check out the Royal Commission in Australia, Karen Ruby. It's pretty recent too. It's pretty recent. Thor Brynjolfsson, he's an ex-witness, and he's on our channel here, and he was talking to us about it, and it had to do with basically the Jehovah's Witness was hiding pedophiles. And I'm not here to bash anything. I'm just saying this is no the Royal Commission. Royal Commission. It's a pretty serious deal because they were trying to get their tax exempt status in Australia, and there was some things going on, and they say, "Well, wait a second here. Oh, wish you Karen Wood, where you been, dude? Where you been? Good to see you, Wishy Karen Wood. Good to see you." Yep, we all ended up getting abused one way or another. A real shame. Most people are in these things to try and do good or make a difference. Yeah. Yep. Then they just end up shitting on you, right? Just abusing you mentally, emotionally, breaking you down. Good to see you, Karen. But yeah, Karen Ruby, I respect your religion. Absolutely. I respect everybody's belief, man. I'm not here to bash anybody's or tell you what's right and wrong. Yeah, I would look it up, Karen. Karen Ruby, check out the Royal Commission. I think it's still going on. It's still going on right now. They haven't. I don't think they've finished that whole deal. It's still an issue. That's good though. I'm happy that you practice. I'm happy that you're practicing in your belief. That's good. I respect everybody's right to practice in America, but when it becomes destructive in nature, different story. When you start manipulating people out of money and doing culty shit, you know, that's kind of where it's time for people to kind of stand up for what's right and say, no, this is wrong. What's going on, what you guys are doing are wrong. I'm not saying you are, but you can look around, Karen, and Scientology, you know, look at Scientology. The government's scared of some of these organizations. Yeah, Allie, you should never, nobody deserves to be hit by any other human being. If you're defending your life, that's a different story, you know? But yeah, no, especially when you're not being paid. Yeah, not even when you're being paid, you don't get hit by like a female director. That's good. Good for you, Allie. You stood up for what's right. You said no. What was the name of the organization? Are they still around? Oh, they changed their name? Go figure. And thanks, Karen. Thanks you for understanding. You know, I'm not here. I would never bash anybody's religion because faith. This is already a touchy topic. Cults, religious cults. Then you start tying in different beliefs and different systems of beliefs. Man, it's a touchy subject, man. But I respect everybody's belief, man. I really do. It's
man, I now that I'm starting to see kids involved with these ministries and these cults, I'm just gonna call them what they are. They're cults, man. When you apply Stephen Hassan's bite model to leaders, I mean, apply Stephen Hassan's bite model to David, to Catherine, to, I don't know, say your local state official, for that matter, your church leader, and just see what comes out. Because there are bite models for these types of things to tell if you're being indoctrinated into a destructive cult, into a destructive organization. Yeah, and that's Allie Wright. I'll be right back. Grab another beer. Catherine, Allie Wright. That's what's going on with David, pretty much. Who is the song? Hey, that's enough. Thank you. Who is a psalm? Marilyn, that's enough. Thank you. No one I knew. I'm following up with I'm watching your message, Karen. Who was a psalm? Catherine what? Oh, lost connection. Yeah, Karen, we all got unplugged for a while. I get you. Don't blame you. David's a lunatic. That was actually Marilyn, Allie. It wasn't Marley. Marley's quiet. Marilyn's got a big mouth on her. Marley heard his name. He's actually right here in front of me. He says, yeah, what do you want? Catherine Crick, Karen. Her name is Catherine Crick. She's a failed actress out of Hollywood. She's 31 years old. January 2nd. Yeah. Real young. No theology training of any kind. Looks like she moved from New York to California in 2013 to pursue her acting career, but it didn't go through. So it looked like from 2013 to 2017, she's real young. Catherine's real young. That's why she's full of shit, is because she's 31, has had really no time in her life to really study theology and, I guess, in detail, to go out and preach like she is. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like, for her to go out to these open air revivals, and I've been doing my research on the 5F Church. Like, I don't go into this without knowing what I'm talking about usually. I mean, the 5F Church, they're known for doing these open air revivals out in the open, which I don't get. And it's like you start bringing kids into it out in public and having them start renouncing like weird shit off of a fucking list that most likely was given to them by this organization, saying, hey, when we call you, you're going to go ahead and read this list out. Like that little girl in that video that I posted, she couldn't even read some of those fucking things on that list. And yet alone for her to get up there and have to renounce like sexual sins in her bloodline, like what the fuck? I don't know what 10-year-old little girls thinking about that. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on with Catherine Crick that are very dangerous. Yeah, she's very shady, Karen. She's very questionable. She scares me more than David. She scares me more than David. Not in the fact that she's dangerous, but her manipulation tactics are very, I don't know, man, they're dark. They're darker than David's. It's shitty to hear. It's shitty to see what she's doing, really. And again, we've had people from destructive organizations that say, yes, this is bullshit. Those kids are. And that's the thing here. Why? Again, the government isn't going to mess with a church too much because they pay interest groups, right? They get a lot of votes out of the church, 100%. We know that. But at what point does the government step in and say, hey, why you guys can't do this? Especially with what Catherine's doing with the kids. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, guys. Okay, so this month is kind of going to be focused on the abuse that goes on, the abuse tactics, the manipulation, thought reformation, alienation, the splitting of families, the financial abuse, because ultimately you're financially abusing, say, a mother inside of a cult. What if they have a couple kids that need that financial assistance to help them, say, diapers, food, formula, and you are taking that money by deception to enrich your own bullshit life, saying you're a priest or an apostle. I don't see why CPS, all the child protective services, organizations aren't connecting all these dots, saying, yes, this is full on abuse. This is full on abuse. $25,000 evangelical prosperity churches in the U.S. alone. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But there's only a few that are really big, right? You got Kenneth Copeland, Jesse Duplantis, Joel Osteen. That guy's a piece of shit too. But yeah, Karen, there's been a bit going on with David. He sold one of the mansions, bought the residential center, settled the case out of court with Harold Lewis. A lot of things. And Ali, right, what's weird is you don't see, there's 25,000 of them, but it's weird, you only see a few of them, right? It's like some of them are more like underground, like prosperity ministries, cults. I'm just going to call the prosperity ministries cults because they are. Like, you don't... I'm not trying to dismantle any kind of organized religion. It's not my goal here. I already know in other parts of the world that organized religion is falling apart. It's just because kids are treated as adults. Yeah, Shauna Lloyd. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Yeah, no, it is. You're absolutely right it is about God's purpose to dismantle all organized religion. It is. There is stuff in the Bible about that. You're 100% right. I know that for sure. It's kind of in the end times. And part of the end time sayings too is like you'll see all these false prophets and all these preachers come out saying that all these mighty miracles are going to take place, and they don't, right? Talk about end times, and you got that asshole Putin over in Russia being a prick. Sorry. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. and tie all that stuff together. It's like, are we in biblical times? I could agree with that. Yes, I think so. We have famine, hunger, disease. There's greed, war. I could agree. There's some prophetic things going on that are mentioned in the Bible in the world, but I think it's just a cause of human nature because people are assholes. Oh, Putin did? He banned your faith already because you're extremist. Yeah, man. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah, Shauna and Allie, I'm glad you guys both got out. I'm glad you girls both got out. 100%, man. What makes it even better now is you can be voices, you know? I know, Putin busting in on Bible studies, throwing old ladies in jail. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Think about that, guys. Put that into perspective for 1 second. Think about if if David was doing the shit he was doing over, like he does here over in Russia, like he would just be thrown in jail. They're like, oh, you're going to jail. You can't talk like that. Freedom is, you don't have any freedom of speech here. Yeah, people, it really is. It really, Cato whispers, man, where you been, dude? Where you been, man? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. Good to have you on, man. Um, tonight's topic is why we're not seeing David anymore. My opinion, I believe firmly, is that he's very ill. And he just looks like a bag of smashed assholes, and he knows how bad he looks. He's just not going to come out and do lives anymore. It's good to see you, though, Cato. Happy New Year, man. I don't think I've seen you guys since New Year's, pretty much. Yeah, I haven't been running too many lives, man. I've been doing some other, like, taking care of, like, some life stuff, you know? I've been doing some research on Catherine Crick here and there. She fell into my lap, man, and just like David did, go down another fucking rabbit hole with this lunatic. Yeah, our freedoms we have come with responsibility, Shauna. Yeah, 100%. It's our responsibility, right? Us thinkers, right here, to have been through that experience like you guys. I haven't been through that experience like you guys have, but Shauna and Allie and other people have been through cult experiences. It's, I don't want to say put this on your shoulders like it's your responsibility, but it's our responsibility to inform and educate people about the destructive nature of these cults, or how they can be, what to watch for, red flags, key indicators. Dude, me too, Ali, right? Like, dude, you think, man, imagine walking down your street. Imagine walking down your street, guys, and just having a fucking missile dropped in on you or a building blow up right next to you. I'm glad we live in a free country for the most part, man. We're lucky. We have it made. I think people oftentimes forget about that and get complacent about what we have. You don't need much to get by. You don't need much to get by in America. You work hard, pay your bills, save your money, you can do anything you want, man. Abraham Lincoln said it. Still to this day, but with inflation, I mean, it's a different story. Talk taxes, we'll go another story on that. But all in all, if you work hard and save your money, you can be anything you want in America, man. There's been so many, like, how do you say, parodies of David's deposition. It's my new favorite roasting now is the judge that roasted Jussie Smollett after just before we handed him down his sentence. that judge completely unloaded on Jussie Smollett and let him have every fucking ounce of it. That's what I wake up to now. I wake up to that judge roasting Jussie Smollett. Because I think people just need to be held accountable like that. David needs to be held accountable. All these people need to be held accountable, man. All these little cult preachers that are just manipulating the system. Yeah, it was bad, right? Yeah. I was screaming at the judge, like, yeah, get him, judge. I was like, let him have it. And when he just kept going in and in on him, everything he was saying is basically what David has done to himself, right? It's like David E. Taylor's name is now an adverb for lying, taking a shit, a what the fuck. It really is. David E. Taylor's name in this world, right, in our world, is synonymous for anything. we could tie David E. Taylor to anything in our daily life, and it would make sense. Oh man, Karen Ruby, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was awesome when the judge roasted him. When the judge said there's no damage you can do, and I can't do any more damage than you've already done. That's kind of what David's done to himself. That's what David's done to himself. He's done so much damage to himself that he can't repair the damage that he's done. I'll have to check Dr. Grande. Yeah, Karen Ruby. Sometimes me too. Some people in my life know. Some people in my life know what Axe Michelle means. People are like, what the fuck does Axe Michelle mean? But yeah. So David, won't see him anymore. And they got good belts at Versace. The belts are more lasting. That's why you got to go to Versace, is because the belts are more lasting. Wait, Shauna, so you know Karen? You know Karen. I say that and people look at me like I'm crazy. One of us, Karen. So wait, you know Karen Ruby, Shauna? Did I miss something? One of us, Karen, 100%. Yeah, where is? I wish Karen would. She has a, yeah, I wish Karen would. So yeah, you guys got questions, comments, concerns? Meaning she asked Michelle. We're not going to see any more of David, guys. I'll be highly surprised if he comes out anymore. I think 100% he's really sick, man. This is my firm belief, my firm opinion. That's why he won't show his face. Or else, because David's the type of person that has has to make an appearance, that has to come out and show his face and preach his word and try to scam people. Cat Mom, what's up? Okay, Dr. Grande does a lot of cult guys and Ken Copeland. Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't think, Shauna, I definitely don't think we're gonna see David Taylor anymore. It's all gonna be reruns and just bullshit, really, and that's it. Is that a spam? Hannah Banana. I'm in Texas, Karen. Texas. I'm originally from California. Captain Crick's supposed to be in Texas too in a couple weeks. Might show up. Might not, Catherine. You never know. No, no conscious cookie monster, nope. I was born in Long Beach, Karen. That's where I'm from originally. I grew up in like Bishop, up. Oh, nice, Shauna. What part? I've only been live for, not for, like, over an hour now. Yeah, that's where that's if you know Bishop, Karen Ruby, then that's where I grew up. That's where I grew up. All my life, pretty much. Come here, boy. Now I live in Texas in the country, man. Kind of. And Karen, I lived outside of Bishop. Oh, okay, cool, Shauna. Awesome. Won't be far. Won't be far. Yeah, Bishop, fishing, snowboarding. It's like a year-round thing up there, Ruby. Karen Ruby. Year-round up there. That's cool, Shauna. Houston's a good place. Yeah, you're like way at the outer edge of Old Man Paradise and Bishop. Yeah, you're out there. It's John Muir Wilderness, actually. It's John Muir Wilderness. All that area back there is all protected. It's all national forest. Yeah, Karen, I love. Oh man, it's bitching. I love it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, got mountains on both sides of us. Yeah, got the Whites on one side and Sierra Nevada's on the other. Yep. Yep. Okay, Ali, she's UK. Yeah, I want to come to the UK and Ireland. You know, I want to do the island tour. Do Ireland, Scotland, and the UK. Like to do that. Oh yeah, Karen Ruby. I've been following up with what's going on in SoCal, and it's a fucking shithole. SoCal is a shithole, man. I'm watching actually what's going on with all the trains that are coming in through LA, how they're just getting robbed and shit like that, man, and how they just have no control over it. They are, Cat Mom. Cat Sierras are beautiful. Yep. Real beautiful. That's where I grew up. I was telling Ruby, she asked where I was from. I told her originally where I'm from. But yeah, I originally grew up in California, and the Sierras were literally my backyard. What I used to do as a kid, we would take dial-a-rides, what it's called. We'd pay, my mom would hand us $5 back in the day, right? Well, a little bit more. She'd hand us like $10, right? We could ski, take the dial-a-ride up to the mountain there and back, ski on $1, take the dial-a-ride for $3, and still have $7 to buy McDonald's and stuff for food. So she would hand us $10, be like, "Get out of here! I'm taking you to town. You guys go up to the mountain for the day." That's how I grew up. I wasn't gonna go anywhere else. I mean, that's how it was. It was bitching. I had a pretty badass life growing up in the mountains there, man. Really did. Because as kids, all right, I know we're going way off tangent now, telling you about life stories, but as kids, Dave McCoy, who owned Mammoth Mountain at the time, a little history lesson here, he owned the mountain. What he did for all the students, we would get these ski passes, and we got tickets for $1 all year, right? While everybody else is paying like 90, $100 a ticket, right? Students, $1, you're a student, okay, $1, here you go. Dave McCoy ended up selling off, I think he kept 51% of the lease, sold off 49% of it. He eventually sold the rest of it off, and they just stopped doing that with all the students, and big corporations came in, bought the mountain, and just totally just corporatized it and made it, to go up there now and ski, it's so much money. It's so much money. I mean, you're probably looking at like almost $200 a day just for a lift ticket. Then you got the food, which is probably like you're going to pay $25 for a fucking burger. And I'm not lying to you guys, man. When you get up to ski resorts and you start paying ski resort prices, you better have like a few grand. Allie Wright, I live near North Coast Beach, little rural town, quiet and very windy. Okay. I wouldn't mind like a little rural coast beach in the UK somewhere and it'd be windy. I'd be okay with that. Big Bear's nice. Big Bear's nice. Yeah, all my time was spent growing up in most of my time was spent up in the mountains, fishing and hunting and skiing and things like that, snowboarding. It was so convenient for us. It really was. Mammoth was 45 minutes up the hill. Karen, if you know what I'm talking about, you know the area. I was down in Bishop, and it wasn't but a half-hour drive for us to get up the hill. But yeah, Cat Mom, it really is. The Sierras are beautiful. If anybody ever gets a chance to go out there, I'd highly recommend it. And Hannah Banana, Seattle, Washington. I've been up in Washington. It's real beautiful up there. Yeah, I definitely have a bucket list to go over to the UK, man. I really do. Really do. There's a lot of history over there. A lot of European history. Went through UK, Ireland, Scotland. Nowhere to fish. No, now skiing is for wealthy people. Yeah, it is. It's definitely for wealthy people. I just fish now because it's cheap and easy. Plus, I don't want to break any bones. You guys got any questions, comments, concerns? Why we haven't seen David? I'm going to go and start wrapping it up. Oh no, guys, we're not going to see him anymore. Yeah, Ruby, there's not. No, then Allie Wright will probably vouch for that. It's very different over there. It's very different. You only see this kind of extremism in America, Ruby. You only see this kind of religious extremism in America. And what's even worse is the government allows it. I mean, look what. Again, if you look historically, what's happened with these like destructive cults and religious cults and destructive organizations, you got Waco, Jim Jones. You had Heaven's Gate. There's this other cult that I'm looking into right now too. That's out of California. I found out this girl. She was some kind of TikTok, like well-known TikTok influence dancer kind of person. gets sucked up into this Baptist cult out in California. Her parents haven't heard from her in over a year. So I'm digging into that just a little bit at a time, trying to find out what's going on there, because there's really beautiful lady. And again, I think about these things a lot. You get into these destructive cults, man, and when you see, to me, it screams sex trafficking, man. When I see these beautiful women get sucked into these religious cults, and then whether directly or indirectly, they're sex trafficking them to other people. Yep, nothing like the U.S., Allie, right? Nothing like the U.S., right? Right, Allie, right? But this is just, these things need to be examined. These religious cults need to be examined thoroughly and very extensively. They do it with other things, you know. They do it with other types of crimes and organizations. Why don't they start doing it with religious cults? Because they're protected by what? The Constitution? Yeah, I get that. But maybe they should start making clauses to where it's like about, you know, religion, once it starts becoming destructive in nature, that it is no longer considered a religion and they can't get their tax exempt status. But yeah, Ali, right. You guys won't get him there. See you, Karen Ruby. I'm about to wrap it up too. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here pretty quick, guys. I do gotta work tomorrow. I get busy in the summer. Yeah, government is afraid of ministry. I don't pay. Cat Mom, do you pay your taxes to the church? Like when you fill out your IRS form, right? When you fill out your tax form at the end of the year, which is fucking coming in 14 fucking days, do you fill it out to the IRS or to the government or to the church? Right? And I'm not picking on you. Do you think that, Cat Mom, we have a good conversation. Do you think the IRS should be mandating the churches whether or not a church is tax exempt, or should it be the government? Yeah, I think this is a question I ask myself all the time. Should be the IRS mandating what a church is. It should be the government mandating Karen. That's too funny. All I hear is Homer Simpson saying USA, USA. Yeah, Grande does this TikTok dancing called. Thanks for being here, Karen Ruby. You know, thanks for sharing everything with us. You know, I respect your practice on your religion. That's good, and you do it right. You know, and that's good. That's good. Highly respectable, 100%. I'll never bash anybody's religion here, man. Kris Jenner's sketchy church? No, I haven't. Kris Jenner. Hannah Banana, I'm going to be your first subscriber. But no, I haven't heard of Kris Jenner's sketchy church. Right, Cat Mom, and that's what I wonder is why they're not constantly watched. The IRS constantly watches me, man. They want my tax money every year on the fucking dot. These guys get to go under the radar and just say, no, we're not going to file anything. I'll look into it. Kris Jenner. Never heard of it though. But you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. And I like to answer. I love having your guys' questions, man. I really do. Comments, anything. Yep, Ellie, right. I think it's about empowering people to escape things like this better. We should have better access to healthcare, counseling, and assistance for those in need so they don't get sucked into cults. Yeah, we actually have a counselor and a therapist that's in our group, licensed in Arizona and Virginia. So, yeah, you guys be safe, be well. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. And I'm going to do some research on Catherine Creek for the next few weeks. And next live, we'll see.